Hello everybody, I'm back. Sorry if I haven't been making videos for a while. But yeah, I'm here to talk about another character from JJK. And if you don't know what that is, then JJK just means Jujutsu Kaisen, just abbreviated. So, I've already talked about two of our beloved characters. If you prefer them, I've first video was done was on Toji Fusuguro, and the second was of Sukuna. Now, we're gonna talk about me, the claimed strongest sorcerer in all of JJK. That is on par with Sukuna. And if you already know, you know. So, for those of you who don't, this is, and I will be talking about today, Satoru Gojo. The self-proclaimed strongest sorcerer, even though he is. So, we are going to talk about Satoru Gojo today. Or, if you know English, Satoru Gojo. So, as of research that I've gathered on this man, and yes, he's an adult, so don't hate me. He's 29, he's gonna be 30 at some point, come on. Well, actually, I'll go into a little bit of his backstory. If you don't want to hear me have spoilers for the hidden inventory / premature death arc, you can just not watch this. Because I will be having a buttload of spoilers. I'm giving a warning now, in the beginning of this video, before I even talk about it. And if you're still saying, excuse me, and if you're still here, great. I'm going to talk about it. So, and for those of you who don't know, that he is a student of the self-proclaimed Tokyo Jujutsu High. And he's one of the teachers that works there, alongside wait, hold on. Alongside Masamitsu Yaga and the others. Well, I think it's just Yaga. Yeah. So if I screwed anything up, but before he was a teacher at Jujutsu High, he actually was a student there. He was in his second year in I'm gonna screw this up. I don't want to bother recording this. He was a second year student at Jujutsu High alongside his best bud, Suguru Geto, which I will talk about him if you guys want me to. And he would kind of butt heads with other people, since at the time he didn't much care for the weak, since he still, like, him and Suguru were still the strongest. They had powerful techniques, and Gojo came from a very powerful bloodline of the Gojo clan. But he had something that none of the previous clan members, which we still don't know to this day, other special techniques, which is their Limitless and Six Eyes, which Gojo both has. And he uses that to the efficiency, since his infinity won't even let people touch him. Like, and it was even stated in the inventory, he will base it on mass and power of that object or anything that tries to come in contact with him. Kind of like they did demonstrate it by throwing in an eraser and a pencil. The eraser hit him, but the pencil didn't, because I guess the autopilot, I'm gonna call it that, knows that it's dangerous with the pencil being so sharp. But the eraser wasn't much of a threat. And all that sciencey stuff that Gojo said was like a little nuts. And also, there was also a thing where if you explain what your technique does, it does make you stronger. So, on to the backstory storytelling was, and also, when he was first born, it shifted the balance in power. Since, boy, this baby was strong, it became stronger after that. And then we'll skip to the inventory / premature death arc. he, along with Suguru and I believe Shoko, were supposed to be with their auxiliary manager, but I guess that failed. And they also forgot to put up a veil when they were going with helping Mei Mei and Utahime, which it kind of backfired. And pretty much also with later on, Gojo and Suguru were going to butt heads, but Yaga stopped that before anything would happen. So, and Yaga also said that this mission when he was about to give them is for just Suguru Keto and Satoru Gojo. So, and this was directly from Master Tengen himself, the big guy upstairs, the big guy. And if you don't know who Master Tengen is, I'll give you a short abbreviation of who he is, or I can't say it. He is the one that, or she? I think it's he, I don't know. He's the one that puts up the barriers for both the Kyoto High School and the Tokyo High School so that the public eye doesn't see them on what they're doing. They're kind of like, it's kind of like a secret type of thing that much of the public eye doesn't know about. Unless you know of cursed energy, cursed techniques, sorcerers, and all that kind of stuff, and know where curses are. So, yeah, that's like a brief, and he has barriers. But then also, which is accumulated to what I'm going to tell you, that every 500 years, he needs a plasma vessel to merge with so that he can kind of reset. So, reset so that he doesn't become a danger to basically all of humanity. That's just a short little tip in on Master Tengen. Now back to Gojo. Him and Suguru are given the task to protect the Star Plasma Vessel, which is a girl named Riko Amanai. And their mission is to protect her and keep her safe. Well, protect / keep her safe from assassins that want to kill her. And just basic any curse user that wants a $350,000 bounty on her. Or, in translation, 3 million yen, a 3 million yen bounty. And curse users have fled to try and kill the girl. But there are two groups. There was Q, who just consists of curse users, and the biggie one, which I'll bring up later on, is the Time Vessel Association, or Star Religious Group. And they're the one, well, the difference is they don't want Amanai to merge with Tengen, and they don't like Tengen very much. Whereas the Star Religious Group wants to kill Amanai, but still have Tengen be in this purest form. And, just, I guess, wreak all of humanity and, trying to destroy that. Even though most of them are just basic human beings. And pretty much, the mission goes kind of well, but he does beat up one of the he beats up a bear guy in a separate fight that Suguru had, and pretty much after the bear was defeated, courtesy of Gojo taking a selfie picture with him, pretty much the group immediately disbanded, which was kind of quick, based on analysis here. Even though Gojo was kind of acting like a brat at one point, but he didn't see any dangers or repercussions that would have had. But what they don't know is that a very skilled assassin was going to come and take that and shoving it. And that guy being Toji. So he had a plan to set up the bounty that Suguru and Gojo know there's a 300 million yen bounty on Reiko's head. But they didn't know that Toji was the one that put the bounty. And I talked about it a little in my first video about Toji. You can look at that. You can look at that if you want more info on him. And he was the one that put the time limit of 2 days. Oh yeah, and they had 2 days to. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. They had 2 days to try and have Rico simulate with Master Tengen. So they need to do it fast. But then a lot of crazy shit comes up. We got curse users trying to kill her, and then Rico's caretaker, Kuro, gets kidnapped by the Time Vessel Association, and they go try and go and rescue her, and they want the drop-off spot to be taken into Okinawa. Oh ho ho, and things get dicey. I mean by dicey. After the 2 days, and after their their summery trip in Okinawa, courtesy of Gojo, like, I don't know if it was a good idea, but they returned back to Tokyo on the day that Rico was supposed to assimilate with Master Tengen. But things went to shit real fast. And Toji pretty much unknowingly stabbed. Well, he knew it, but Gojo unknowingly got stabbed through the chest by Toji. And also with Tengen's barriers is that they will detect foreign curse energy. But with Toji, he didn't have any. So it was hard to even detect him. He was like a ghost. Like he was like a chameleon camouflaging in the shadows. And it led to a really, really nice fight. Which ended badly for Gojo. And like Gojo put out all the stuff to try and beat Toji. He used maximum output curse technique blue to try and figure out his whereabouts. Then he gets flooded with fly heads. Then he deduced that Toji was gonna go for Amanai, but it was just all in a ruse to leave his guard down. But Toji had the inverted spear of heaven. It stopped his curse technique and ultimately got his throat stabbed. And almost every other part of his body. So, and Toji kind of left him there to die. But secretly, he was actually using the reverse curse technique right when Toji stabbed him. And through the neck, mind you. That is gonna be one painful way to lose your vocal cords. And having your left or right side of his body slashed, getting about 6 puncture wounds, and leaving there in a pool of your own blood, surrounded by flatheads. Yeah, well, that was going on. He was doing the reverse curse technique, which he somehow managed to figure it out in a very long, lengthy explanation. Is he came? Let's skip over to when Toji was just leaving the Time Vessel Association. Kong already left before him, so Toji was just walking a merry way back when he literally saw that Gojo Satoru had came back from the dead. And if I can quote a couple of lines from both Toji's side and Gojo's side, then here's what I get. 야, 스나시부리. 마시강. 마시. 게임도 비빈다요. 동기현 지주스키. zetsukai. And I can't go into don't know the rest of it because I still need to practice that. But and in conclusion, Gojo was high on power. And this was when he fully awakened his 6 eyes. And also this was also right before he beat up like a cursed user guy who had clones. He, like, the Cursors was using Shadow Clone Jutsu for Naruto, but ended badly. And the fight was different from the first time, because it literally happened like one episode. And he came back. What? and, and he also managed to perfect his curse technique Reversal Red, or if you want a Japanese translation, Jujutsu Hanten Aka, to try and hurt Toji, which, bro, that guy managed to survive getting hit with. Toji got hit with his curse technique Reversal Red, no broken bones, but a bloody head. Bro, that man is built different. And pretty much, the fight goes on, having Toji resulting into having the chain of 1,000 miles attached to the averted spear of heaven for a long-range distance. And it gives one of my favorite lines in the entirety of the anime or manga, whenever you want to have those. Tensou Tengen, Norio Tokuso. Through heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. And bro, that is just satisfying, in my opinion. But he did manage to defeat Toji with his curse technique, or hollow technique, hollow purple, or Tosaki Murasaki, and defeated Toji, which actually kind of killed him. And by kind of, I mean, it hurt a lot. Like, Toji had a few minutes to live, but, you know, he got the information from Toji that in 2 to 3 years, that his son, which he would later meet, would be sold to the Zenin clan in 2 to 3 years. And after that, he went into their Time Vessel Association to retrieve Reiko's body, which was shot earlier by Toji, while Suguru and Reiko were in the Tomb of the Star corridor. So yeah, a big fight happened there. But I'll talk about that if you guys want me to talk about Suguru Geto. And pretty much it changed his entire demeanor and his psyche so bad that he pretty much questioned Suguru when he got there. Well, not right as it got there, but they like talked about it. And, like, Suguru was like, "What happened to you?" And bro was like, "Oh, I see you're healed by Shoko." And oh boy, the most spine-chilling thing to come out of this man's mouth was, "Oh, hey, can we just kill everybody? I won't feel a thing if I do it." But Suguru, thank God, has some sense and said, "No, these were just ordinary people that were just brought here. That were in the Time Vessel Association. These are just normal human beings." And that changed the course of both Suguru and Gojo's lives. Because aside of Gojo awakening his 6 eyes, another event would take place that would change his life forever. And that specific event was Suguru murdering almost an entire village, including his parents. And it set off a chain. And pretty much Gojo couldn't even believe it. And this was right after the Time Vessel. It was right after the Star Plasma Vessel mission. It went bad. It went horribly. Riko died. Gojo almost died. Suguru was critically injured. Yeah, everything went to shit real fast. And pretty much he had a different view on the Jujutsu Society. And it didn't go as well. And pretty much he also hates the higher-ups because of what they're doing. So, yeah, when he heard the news from Yaga that Suguru had killed about 112 people from the village he was there, and it killed his parents, pretty much he was shocked and in disbelief that he would ever do this, and he confronted Suguru about it. And pretty much with Suguru saying, you have the power, you can do it, it's achievable. And one of the lines that Suguru said to Gojo was, are you strong because you're Satoru? Or are you Satoru because you're strong? Oh no, I think it was, are you strong if are you strong as Satoru Gojo, or are you Satoru Gojo as you are strong? I hope I got that right, but I might not. And it changed basically, and Gojo couldn't kill his best friend out in the open. He couldn't do that. His mind wouldn't let him. And pretty much he let him go. He let Suguru go. But karma bit him in the ass. A little bit. Where it's later on in Jujutsu Kaisen 0 that Suguru came into the school and pretty much declared war, basically, with the Night Parade of 100 Demons. And Gojo participated in it, his fight, and he also encountered Miguel with the Black Whip, which almost has the same properties as the Averted Spirit of Heaven, blackout or negate curse techniques. And yeah, Gojo beat the absolute shit out of him. So, yeah. Yeah, and then later on he confronted Suguru after, Suguru losing an arm and such. And there was a very heart-touching moment. And he pretty much said something to Suguru, which you actually can read it in volume 0, so I recommend that. But at the end, Suguru told Gojo, you could have at least cursed me for at least. But Gojo didn't want that. Because if you curse a sorcerer, when they die, they will become a cursed spirit. And Gojo didn't want that. He wanted him to die peacefully. But as we all know, it didn't end up like that. So, didn't end up like that. Also, I forgot to say this in a couple of the episodes, that the pictures I used are not mine. They are copyrighted, JJK, copyrighted by GeGe Akutami, and they're actually from the official show. So, just saying, I wanted to say this out there, since I keep forgetting to put it out there because of all the stuff that's been going on. So, back to what I was talking about earlier. Now, let's forward a few years to 2019, where he meets Yuji Itadori, our main protagonist, who recently just ate a finger from Roman Sukuna. And, well, at first it was honest that Yuji kind of merged with Sukuna, even though we all know what happened with that. And also told Yuji, okay, let me fight Sukuna for 10 seconds. Don't worry, I'm the strongest. He reassured Yuji that he's the strongest. And Yuji let Sukuna take over his body, which did not end well for Sukuna. Even though he was on one finger, he was still weak compared to Gojo. So, fight didn't end well, and pretty much his mission was to collect all of 20 Sukuna's fingers and just let him die along with Yuji. Well, Sukuna die along with Yuji. But he was actually he was the sole reason to suspending Yuji's execution indefinitely. Because he didn't like how the higher ups were treating it like that. Okay, if you have this powerful curse in your body, we just want to kill you immediately. Because we don't want that happening to the world around us. But Gojo doesn't see it like that, and sees potential in Yuji, along with Megumi, Nobara, and all the other students. And the ultimately he really does not like the higher ups, Because I know at one point he playfully threatens the Kyoto principal Gakuganji because he knew that they basically planned for the first years, and I will explain this a little in depth, to go to the detention center because of the special grade that was accumulated there to have Yuji die, so that Rama Sakuda would not come back. Screw that didn't end well. For anybody. And by the time Gojo got the news, he already had completed his mission, which was he was abroad. So, and he really would like to kill the higher-ups if he wanted to. But he chose to become a teacher to cultivate the next generation of sorcerers and members of the Jujutsu Society, or the Jujutsu world, if you want to call it that. And basically, he also witnessed Yuji coming back to life, and he wanted him to stay. He wanted Yuji to stay dead until the Kyoto Sister Goodwill event happened within 2 months' time, and kind of had him just had Yuji be with Nanami for a good while until the Goodwill event started, and brought Yuji in a box to take the Tokyo students, which also didn't end well since he was also crack locked by Yaga, who was right next to Gakuganji. Pretty much was like, oh, I was so worried you were gonna die from shock, since Gakuganji was just as surprised as everyone else that Yuji was alive, and it was supposed to be dead. And he was basically dead for 2 months. Surprise. So, and then fast forward to the curses evading the school. Gojo went ham, and also he was like wasn't allowed access through the veil, because like all the other sorcerers can go in and out, but not Gojo. Not Gojo. He was kept out. Not until he used purple. Because, what badass of a guy did not use purple? And also almost murdered a guy. Because that scene still terrifies me. Like, the dude, like, and then one of the, like, I believe it was Gakuganji, he says, like, don't kill him. But the face was like, I won't show it because it will spoil it. Like, oh my god, that is the most terrifying face on a 29-year-old I've seen. He was not playing around. He was gonna be delighted to just take off his limbs and be done. He could die from the blood loss. Bruh. Gojo be sadistic, but damn, he's a man-child when he wants to be. Like, his personality is that of a man-child, but Lord and behold, he's got the power and smack talk to back it up. Well, he got the smack talk and the power to back that up. Then, like, we don't see much of him in the, Death Painting arc, but we do get flashbacks when he was training Megumi, and pretty much just gave a lesson, like, no matter what you do, you will always die alone. Like, there's a difference between dying for something you love and protecting to just blatantly dying to sacrifice yourself. Like, he makes some good points, and I commend Gojo. I commend Gojo for that. And then, since we're probably already into this, the Shibuya arc happens, and yeah, everything goes to shit. And I forgot what time it was. Gojo enters the fray a little later than everybody else does, enters the fray, and proceeds to go to the bottom level of that, where he meets Jogo, Hanami, and Chozo, one of the death paintings. And I will still say that Chozo is one of my favorite cursed spirits, along with Sukuna. So he's like second to Sukuna. And I will talk about it if you guys want me to on Chozo. And I'll only go into the current episode that we are at the moment. So, aside that, between Gojo and Jogo and Gojo smack talking each other like it's a backyard brawl. Fight kind of commences with Jogo and Hanami using domain amplification to try and, get through to Gojo's Limitless. Kind of didn't work a little bit. And then the most fun scene right towards the end is, you really think you can beat me? While after removing his mask. That is his most spine chilling. And then next episode will be Gojo and his fight with Jogo and Hanami and Chozo. That is going to be a fight, a spectacle to behold. So, I'll probably make updates to the characters, but I know, like, I won't go into too much detail since the anime is still going through the Shibuya arc, and we got some other things that happened aside from that. So I know people have read the manga, but I wanted to try and get the info from the anime too. Like, I know much of the manga because I've read it, but I wanted to do it from the anime since I don't want to spoil much of the anime only people that watch it. So, I will also say my thoughts with Gojo. Like, I think Gojo is a good character. I'm not gonna lie. Aside that, Akutami himself does, in some ways, do disdain his own character. He made Gojo too OP, or they made Gojo too OP, and they don't like him. Like, I'm surprised he didn't like any other character, but they don't like Gojo. And like, he said it one. I won't say what said. It was like 2020 is gonna be a good year, and I was like, bro, like, I'm surprised they hate this character so much because they made him too overpowered, but who can blame him? You made him too pretty. Like, Akutami-san, you make Gojo pretty to have almost everyone simp for him. A 29-year-old who acts like a man-child half the time with his brain capacity, but makes wholesome and funny moments last. Says, I know everything's gonna go to shit for him. And by shit, I mean, the world goes into chaos. So, I'm just gonna leave it off here. And I hope I can kind of reconcile what I've been doing. But I'll see you guys. This is Ukame. And I will say, stay positive, Toya. And hope everyone has a good day, morning, afternoon, wherever you guys live. And hope you have a good day.